It's time for the 8-Minute Devotion. The 8-Minute Devotion is a daily message that fills you with hope and encouragement from the Word of God. Here's your host, Pastor Cameron Walcott.
Hello, and welcome back to the 8-Minute Devotion. So glad you could join us for our Thursday episode as we get close to bringing this little series to an end, a blessing for 2024. We're looking at the blessing of Aaron from Numbers chapter 6, the blessing that God spoke to Moses to speak to Aaron, to speak to the people, this wonderful blessing that comes from the Lord. And today we're going to look at one last phrase from the blessing, the last phrase of what the priest would speak over the people of Israel, and that's this: the Lord give you peace. The Lord give you peace. And that's Numbers 6, verse 26. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. The Lord gives his people peace. The Lord gives his followers peace. The Lord gives us a peace that passes all understanding. And what a blessed peace. What a wonderful thing it is. Philippians 4:7 talks about that peace that passes all understanding. Jesus, of course, spoke these words to his disciples. John 14 and verse 27, Jesus said this: "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." You see, the Lord gives his children peace, and it's a peace that passes understanding. He told his disciples these words just as he was about to be crucified, just as he was about to go through the darkest moment anyone has gone through in the history of mankind, the darkest moment ever. You know, God is timeless. This was the darkest moment that was ever going to be experienced by anyone. Jesus walking through this moment. And his disciples were also about to go through their darkest night as they were going to reject him and as they were going to be filled with shame and fear and, the sense of complete and total loss. Just as they were about to go through this worst, most terrible moment, what does Jesus speak? He speaks peace. He says, "I am giving you peace." Not the type of peace that the world gives, but don't let your hearts be troubled. I am going to give you a real and a lasting peace. What a glorious thing it is. What is peace? How do we define it? Well, one way we can define peace is this. Peace is the calm assurance that God is in control of every situation in our lives and is always working for our good. In other words, peace does not just mean we sit back and we do nothing. Peace does not just mean that boredom. Sometimes we have that mindset that, well, I don't know how much I want peace. Is peace boredom? Does that mean nothing exciting happens? Does that mean I'm not risking anything? Does that just mean I sort of sit back? We get the picture of heaven, just an angel playing a harp on a cloud. Is that peace? The answer is no. Peace does not mean that I'm just sitting back, doing nothing, risking nothing. Peace is not boring. But what peace is it's the assurance, the calm assurance that whatever I'm going through, whatever storm I'm going through, even if I risk great things for God, even if I'm doing great things for God and there's opposition around me, there may be, but I still have peace because I have the calm assurance that God is in control. I have the assurance that even when bad things seemingly happen to me, God is working them all for my good, for my glory. I have that calm assurance deep in my heart, deep in my spirit. And you see, God's peace is fundamentally different than what the world can give you. God's peace is so much greater. We live in a world that desperately needs peace, but they don't just need the peace politicians can give. They don't need the peace that financial security can give. Ultimately, they need the peace that comes from God, the peace that passes all understanding. That's the peace that this world needs, and it's fundamentally different than the peace that you can get from money, from politicians, from a promise, from a man. The world needs God's peace, and I'm so glad that whatever I walk through in life, I can say, Lord, I believe. Lord, I receive your peace no matter what's going on. I'm not saying it's easy or that I always do this perfectly. No, there are times I do allow my mind to fear, my heart to race. There are times I give in to anxiety and fear, but I can make that other choice. I can always say, Lord, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you today. I'm trusting you to give me peace. I'm trusting you to be my peace. Jesus, you are peace. And when I walk through the storms, instead of fearing, I'm going to trust in you. You know, there's a story that gives a really good picture of biblical peace. And there was actually an art museum that commissioned a contest. Who can paint the greatest picture of peace? You know, who can paint a picture that gives the greatest picture of peace? And you know, all these different artists from around the world, they all submitted different drawings. They all submitted different paintings, I should say. And you know, one artist painted a sleeping baby, just peacefully sleeping. You know, what a beautiful picture of peace. That baby just not having a care in the world, sleeping, and you know, it has the nice pillow and the nice crib. How peaceful does that look? Now, those of you, if you remember when you had babies, if you still do, you probably wish your baby slept that peacefully. But, you know, think of this peaceful sleeping baby. So peaceful. Another artist, he painted a picture of a gentle flowing brook, you know, a gentle flowing stream, and, you know, green grass and butterflies flittering around, and the sun is shining. Such a peaceful background. Another artist painted this. He painted a picture of a terrible storm. Lightning is flashing, rain is falling, wind is blowing leaves. You know, the picture of the leaves blowing. The trees are being shaken, sky is dark. There's a terrible storm going on. But in the middle of that painting, he painted one little bird sitting on a tree branch, beak open, happily singing, happily tweeting its little song. That in the middle of the storm, the bird was just sitting back, singing its song. You know, that picture, that painting won the contest. That painting won the contest of what peace is. And that really is a great picture of biblical peace. It's not that we just sit back and everything's always perfect and everything's always great and we sit back playing a harp on a cloud. No, there will be storms in life. There will be times we face situations that are difficult. There will be times, even as the disciples were in the boat and the storm came. But in the middle of those times, instead of having fear and anxiety and giving up, we say, God, I receive your peace. We happily sing in the storm because we know God is with us. We know he is working all things together for our good. We want to be like that little bird singing in the storm. Friends, the Lord give you his peace in this new year. The Lord give you peace in 2024. May you be blessed. May the things in your life be prosperous and be good. But if any storms come, may you still have the Lord's peace. May his peace be with you, that you know this is working for my good. The Lord is going to work it for my good, that we can sing in the middle of any storm. We can have God's peace because the Lord is with us. He gives us a peace that passes all understanding. Thank you for listening and watching. We'll be back tomorrow in the 8-Minute Devotion.
Thank you for listening to the 8-Minute Devotion. Please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you listen to or watch it. And email us at the8minutedevotion@gmail.com with any questions or comments. May God bless you